Alright, hello guys, welcome back to another video. So yes, we're talking about MrBeast. And the reason why we're talking about MrBeast is because there have been massive updates in the whole situation. And I know that I have not been keeping up to date on this situation, but since I was one of the first people to start covering this topic, I do believe it only is right for me to talk about this and to make a little bit of an update video. Now, the last time that we talked about MrBeast and allegations regarding Kris Tyson actually happened to be around a month ago, and you guys are probably wondering, well, what happened to the video where you were going over some new Kris Tyson allegations with some alleged workplace group chat messages? Well, for anybody who was unaware and did not know how that played out for Rosanna and DogPack, well, let's just say the video was taken down because I was wrong about a few things in it, and instead of leaving it up for more people to see, I decided to take it down. But besides that video being taken down, that was the last thing that I covered here on the channel. I have not talked about the Soggy Cereal video. If you guys are not aware, Soggy Cereal is a commentary YouTuber who makes pretty good videos, and essentially what he did as of recently was he put out a video exposing DogPack for lying about pretty much every single claim that he has made except for 3. As you guys can see right here, these are all of the accusations that have been made by DogPack towards MrBeast. For the ones that we have that are crossed off are never random subscribers, illegal lottery, number 3, Feastables, unhealthier than Hershey's, Delaware, messed up nickname, meaningful FBI report, fake 10 minutes video, 100 boys vs girls rigged, lifetime dog food scam, videos are rigged, distributing CP, MrBeast committed war crimes, 7 days at sea faked. And those are just to name a few, as there are so many more here. And the 3 things that DogPack was right about was Kris Tyson being a degenerate, illegal lottery number 1, and Jake Weddle. If you would like to see all of the things that are crossed out here debunked, that video is over on Soggy Cereal's video. It's called The Truth About MrBeast and DogPack 404. But for time's sake, over here on my video, I will not be going over this video. Now, anyways, as of Friday night, oompaville put out an interview that he had with MrBeast. This interview was actually pretty long. It was around 2 hours and 30 minutes. And for obvious reasons, I'm not going to be going over the whole thing because we would be here for quite a bit of time. But also for the people who do not want to watch this, I've watched the whole interview and I wanted to go over some of the key points in it, and I also wanted to give my criticisms about it overall. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, first things first, before they do the interview, they both put their hand on a Bible.
Firstly, would you be willing to put your hand on this Bible and swear?
Oh my gosh, you actually have a Bible?
I have 2 Bibles.
Are you being serious?
I am being serious.
Okay.
I'm swearing. We're both from the South. This will be an honest video.
Oh, your laptop's blocking it.
Oh, whoops. This will be an honest video. You're a man from North Carolina. I'm from Virginia.
The Bible Belt.
The Bible Belt,
Yep.
exactly.
I know what this means.
This means it's legit.
Yes. Okay.
There we go.
I was not expecting that. Okay.
So after they put their hands on a Bible, they started the interview, and the first question that oompaville asks is, why were you so silent?
The first biggest question for me and a lot of people that I've spoken to over the last couple months is like, why were you so silent? Especially off the bat. Like, you did respond to the Ava Tyson stuff immediately, but like, you know, right after that, a bunch of other stuff came out, and Dawson's video, his first video, gained a bunch of traction. What was your reasoning for being so silent immediately?
No, it's a great question to kick it off on. You actually kind of laid out the timeline there. The Ava stuff came out, and I put out that tweet. We hired the investigators to go look into it, and part of that investigation is they recommended that I not talk about drama or really do anything online because it might influence, you know, witnesses or any people they might interview or ex-employees. So it's a little unfortunate because I told them, okay, I'll wait till the investigation is over. And I believe that was literally like a week before the DogPack video came out. And then truthfully, just in transparency, I've never done one of these like big investigations before. And in my head, it was going to last like 2 or 3 weeks. It ended up taking a couple months, apparently combing through all the documents and doing all the interviews and everything. Just took way longer than I thought because I've never had to bring in a top tier law firm and a former federal prosecutor and let them, you know, do this really big thing. And so that kind of concluded a couple weeks ago when I put out the tweet of the follow-up.
Yeah.
Like, that was the day I got the conclusion of it. And I was like, okay, in transparency, I'll throw this out. So up until that point, it was, I told Quinn Emanuel that, to protect the integrity, I wouldn't do anything or engage any of this drama.
So yeah, this makes a lot of sense to me, and I'm pretty sure most of us knew this was the reason why MrBeast was not saying too much about this at the time or trying to address things right off the bat, because even when it comes down to somebody like MrBeast and his company, you need to get some advice from some PR people, or you just need to do the investigation that you need to do without messing anything up. So this really does make quite a bit of sense. Now, before we move on, I just want to be transparent about something. I have no plans on trying to make this a really long video. I've seen other people put out like hour-long videos and stuff like that. And personally, if there are things within this video that I don't want to go over because there just isn't enough substance for that one specific thing, I'd rather just not go over that and skip past it, because I remember watching this video and in the beginning of this, there's a lot of rambling and just extra details that I really don't care for. And I kind of just want to see MrBeast address some of the big things that he has been accused of. And also around the 1 hour mark in this video, he's asked if he's going to sue DogPack or not. So those are just sort of the things that I'd rather go over versus him just rambling on about how he has 400 people who work at his company. Like, I don't care for the extra details. So I figured I would just tell you guys I'm going to be cutting out some of that stuff if you want to see the whole thing. If you have 2 hours and 30 minutes at your disposal, feel free to go watch this. It's on oompaville's channel. But yeah, without further ado, let's continue on. Now, in this next part that I'm about to play, MrBeast does talk about how he does regret actually not responding to this earlier in the beginning.
Before talking to you, I definitely would imagine that you would regret have not making a response early.
Oh,
right?
100%.
Like that, because that you could have just immediately, if there is information to debunk DogPack's his first video off the bat.
Yeah, which obviously had so much disinformation in it. If anyone saw Sagi's video or any of the newer videos now coming out, like you would see so much. So much of it. So it's unfortunate that it happened on the back end of when I said I would not talk about or address drama and things. And I mean, there's obviously should have done this sooner. Whoops, but hey, better late than never.
Yeah. Did you think it would get this big?
No, I mean, truthfully, I thought, like, if you watch Sagi's video or any of these other videos that are coming out now showing all the discrepancies, I honestly thought a lot of people would find, like, the information proving the dishonesty earlier.
The Google?
Because a lot of this could have been, just figured out Google. A lot of this could, and now, I also have to be clear, like, I'm not perfect, and I'm not saying I've never done anything wrong, and you can't criticize me. Like, there are things I deserve criticism for, and I'm sure we'll get to some of those things in here. But there are a lot of things that are just not true, and on those things, like, I mean, we'll just get to it throughout this because I'm sure you're gonna ask me the questions. But there's just a lot of disinformation that was easily proved wrong. Like the big one that videos with tens of millions of views collectively, claiming I called a guy Delaware because he committed a crime in Delaware, like. That is not true. His name was just Delaware. I didn't, call him Delaware to make fun of him or anything. And, I'm sure you're going to ask about it later, but there's literally, he was in a video before I hired him working at Best Buy wearing a name tag that said Delaware. And that was public information. And anyone could have saw that. Even during when that was getting shared a lot a couple months ago, I even sent that to a couple of YouTubers. I was like, hey, just so you know, I didn't call him Delaware because of this messed up thing. That was just his name, and here's proof.
Yeah, I definitely do understand that there were a lot of extra things that were not true that sort of muddied the water when it came down to, I guess, exposing the real bad things. I remember that one thing, the no does not mean no thing. People misconstrued that, and it made MrBeast look bad, despite the fact that that's not even what that meant. It wasn't a method to try and take advantage of people, but people went ahead and said that anyways. So yeah, there definitely was a lot of misinformation and disinformation. Now, when it comes down to Delaware, another thing that a lot of people did not hear was MrBeast did not knowingly hire this offender, actually. He was actually doing a video and he went into a Best Buy, and for whatever reason, he decided to hire some of the Best Buy employees, and Delaware was one of them. And as far as I'm aware, they just never did a background check. I'm not saying don't criticize MrBeast here, because you definitely should, because he should have done a background check or something, but you can't say he knowingly did this. Now, moving forward, MrBeast goes on to explain how Reddit was getting rid of information disproving some of the damning claims that had been made against him involving Delaware.
That same photo, right after that second DogPack video, started to get traction on Reddit and saying hey, this is a lie. Jimmy didn't call him Delaware to make fun of him, committing a crime in Delaware. That's just his name. And it got taken down by the mods on r/YouTube drama. And that's when I realized, like, oh, anytime there's a post proving like that I'm not evil, they were taking it down. So it was a little unfortunate too, because I wasn't saying anything, and then on Reddit, anytime something was proving that I wasn't evil or contrarian to what everyone was saying, they were suppressing it or censoring it, not trying to sound extreme.
And just to add my thoughts on that, like, despite there being allegations and despite MrBeast definitely being in the wrong for some of the things that happened during the situation, just because you don't like MrBeast or he's done things wrong, that doesn't give you the right to spread misinformation or cover up context. Like, in my opinion, hiding the truth is a really fucked up thing to do.
Yeah, so to circle back to the Quinn Emanuel investigation, the big thing on the internet, on Twitter specifically, was that you found yourself to be innocent. Of course, you paid a law firm to find yourself innocent.
I saw those memes, yeah.
There's the big meme. How would you respond to the allegation that the investigation was biased from the start?
Yeah. So first off, to just set the foundation, I think a lot of people are saying, oh, of course, Jimmy did an internal investigation and found himself, they didn't find any wrongdoing, which is also not true, which I assume we'll go into that more later. They did find some wrongdoing, just not in regards to like the serious Ava allegation. So that's a, false truth. And then on top of that, it wasn't an internal investigation. It was an external investigation, which was clearly laid out in the things we showed.
Yeah, a third-party investigation.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, it is a little bit of a, like, a lot of people I saw were saying, like, well, you paid them. And it's like, well, yeah, top-tier lawyers and federal prosecutors don't work for free, so I have to pay them.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how to debunk that one. I mean, it just is what it is. But, yeah, we hired Quinn Emanuel, which is one of the top law firms in the world. Like, I mean, it was very expensive, but I intentionally picked them because they have a reputation, and they're not just going to destroy their entire business to be biased towards me, you know what I mean? And then it was led by a former federal prosecutor who did the whole thing. I mean, it was pretty intense. I mean, they did tons of interviews. I mean, transparent. They even like scanned my phone, dug through, like they have messages I sent to my girlfriend, and I'm like, why is this even relevant? And they're like, I mean, if you want a thorough one and you want us to like be confident in what we're saying, we need to see everything.
Yeah, this is really not something that I reported on, and I definitely did not say as fact. But when I did hear that MrBeast would be hiring this team to investigate him, I did for a hot second think that, oh, MrBeast was investigating himself. Sort of like how if you watch those videos on YouTube about like corrupt police departments and stuff like that, and you'll hear that they investigated themselves and they found themselves innocent because, they investigated themselves. Well, in this case, like MrBeast has said, it was an external company that has a very good reputation. And like he says a little bit later, if they find anything illegal, they have to report it to the police. If they don't, then they could get in trouble for that. And they're also not going to hurt their really good reputation by trying to cover up a crime and doing something petty. Now, once again, just for transparency, the next part, they talk about, the workplace culture and how a lot of people actually believe that MrBeast is still only like 5 friends, putting videos together and stuff like that, when in reality, it's like a team of like 400 people that work at MrBeast. And this part I really don't care about, and I don't believe it has any substance in it. But once again, if you're interested in hearing this whole part, it is on oompaville's channel.
There have been claims that you use some CGI in your videos, that is computer-generated imagery. Do you think the use of CGI can undermine the credibility or authenticity of the content that you're making? And if so, why do you choose to use it?
Good question. And yes, I do think rampant use of CGI can undermine it. And I try to do my best to be transparent. Did you ever see So Crispy's video where they showed the behind the scenes of our Squid Game video?
I did, yes.
Yeah, so we've done that. We've done lots of BTS videos on them, and we've done other BTS videos. So I try to show it transparently, but
All right, so when it comes down to the CGI used in MrBeast videos, from what I have seen on the videos that he has posted on his channel, I really don't see why this is a big deal, and I don't see why it was brought up, and I really don't care. And I've been saying this ever since day one. Day one being the day that DogPack put out his first video. Like, personally, I don't care if he uses CGI in his videos. I think CGI is a great thing to have in his videos. Not like using it for most of the video, but like if he wants to make a cool little graphic on the screen or something, or if he wants wants to, like you guys see right here, make his warehouse look like, you know, it's actually like a stage and make it cool for a professional video and all of that. I have no issues with that. I think that's pretty cool, actually. As long as he's not like faking, like, say, a Guinness World Record or something, then personally, I don't care about the CGI. Now, when it comes down to oompaville asking about the CGI in the interview, me personally, I would rather hear about the more important stuff, and I would rather have that be addressed over some dumb CGI. And as you guys will see throughout my video, there are actually quite a few things that I feel shouldn't have been included in this interview, and some more hard-hitting questions should have been asked, and at some points also some things should have been elaborated on more. And I know oompaville isn't the best interviewer, but he was definitely a little soft on MrBeast throughout this whole thing, and you guys will see what I'm talking about real soon. Now, once again, just for transparency, this next part here, MrBeast goes over the reason why his girlfriend was in the 100 boys versus 100 girls video, and that was because this was during COVID times, and a few individuals had to be pulled from that video because they tested positive for COVID, and obviously you can't have people who have COVID, you know, being in this video and being around other people. But besides that, moving on.
Okay, so now on to the response to critics. So the first person really to respond to critics was Chucky. But the second person, it seemed like, was Soggy Cereal, YouTuber,
yes,
commentary YouTuber. He made a video, and he's been, you know, that video is sort of blowing up a little bit. It's not quite to the level of DogPack's video when it first came out, but it's, you know, it's coming up, and he did his best to disprove a lot of DogPack's claims, and even held you accountable for a lot of stuff in his video, which I thought was good. I thought his video was pretty good. I liked his video a lot, and I like him a lot. I've talked to him since that came out. I've talked to him a couple times. Yeah, he has criticized you today and last night, I think, you know, to sort of timestamp when this video is being recorded so people know. He said, Soggy has criticized you sharing his video with other YouTubers as a way to shield yourself from criticism, you know, like deeming the video to people. He also expressed feeling used by you, given that you used his video as a strategy to gather favor from the public, which, you know, that's pretty wordy. It's like it just happened today. It's got to be something like, how do you feel about him feeling that way? Because he's not really defending you. He's more so trying to hold light to truth, which I appreciate that massively.
Yeah.
And I do, you know, talking to him, I do believe that he is an honest guy. Yeah. How do you interpret his responses on Twitter if you've seen them? Have you seen them?
Yeah, I've seen them. Okay. I mean, I interpret as him just trying to be honest with his audience and just expressing how he feels. And I think, you know, obviously he probably in his head, if he was even being more honest, he'd probably be like, Jimmy, why don't you just say these things? Why am I saying it? You know, and I think obviously now that I'm here and doing this, that will alleviate it. But I could see how it feels. Like, obviously I saw that video and it, you know, disproved. I mean, there are some things in there I don't agree with, and he does go pretty hard on me, so which people seem to forget. But there are a lot of things in there that he disproved, and yeah, I mean, I got excited and shot it over to a bunch of creators who covered the false information, and was just like, look, you know, I could see how, you know, that looks like I'm hiding behind it. Luckily, I'm here talking to you, so yeah. I don't think that will be a problem anymore. But obviously, you know, he's not, when he tweeted that, he, you know, doesn't know we were doing this, doesn't know this is coming out. I mean, he might now. I don't, you know, you talk to him, but yeah. So like, I don't blame him. You know what I mean? It's a reasonable thing. Like, I think if I were to read a little between lines, he's just saying like, I don't want to be a shield. Jimmy, say something. You know what I mean? Like, actually go address things and like.
Yeah, because he's really not defending you. He's just disproving DogPack. Like that.
Exactly.
That's the primary kind of driver, or that's how I interpreted his video. I was like, oh, this is pretty balanced. Yeah, I like him. He's a cool dude. So
yeah, I mean, he didn't go with the grain and disproved a lot of things. Mm-hmm.
You left a comment on Soggy's video after it was posted. You said, "This is finally a video that doesn't spread baseless slander about me."
Yeah, I mean,
lol.
Obviously that was a stupid comment. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, how do you think that looks? I mean,
yeah, dumb. Like,
yeah,
agreed.
Okay.
Especially the LOL. That just yeah.
Yeah, I agree. MrBeast should have definitely came out and said something on his end instead of just sending Soggy Cereal's video to other creators to, I guess, try to defend himself. And I also do agree that putting that comment under Soggy Cereal's video was also pretty weird. Now, anyways, moving on, it looks like oompaville gets into some of the legal and ethical issues. And this is where Oompa asks MrBeast about the illegal lotteries.
Soggy's video, he sort of, I think, disproved 2.
Yes.
And then 1 he still believes was an illegal lottery.
Yes.
Do you believe that you ran an illegal lottery? Did you believe at the time? What was your mindset? Did you check with the FCC? Was there any compliance, any steps taken to prevent this? What is your just perspective on that?
Yes. So I don't think we did. I have people looking into it and like trying to pull the footage and figure it out. You know, he disproved the 2, which I mean, those were crazy. I'm trying to, I don't want to just like speculate. I have a team looking into it. I don't think we did though. But regardless, just to be truthful, if people want a refund or think for whatever reason, like we did something wrong, like I'll send you a link that you can just put in the description where they can get a refund. Maybe just throw it on the screen here.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, at the moment, that's all I really have to say. Maybe I could do a follow-up in the future. I'm trying to, dig up all the footage from that live stream. This was like many years ago. Like this isn't like something I did 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Now, despite MrBeast allegedly committing a crime, it is actually really cool that he is going to be doing a refund. But even though he's going to be doing that refund, I still believe that he should be investigated for what had happened, just to make sure he didn't break the law. Because once again, I'm not an expert, so I don't know, but I do definitely believe he should still be investigated. Now, for the next part, I'm going to be skipping over it, but for anybody who is curious, MrBeast is asked what changes he is going to be making, and he said things along the lines of he's going to be hiring new leaders and he's going to be doing everything that Quinn Emanuel has suggested for him to do. This also includes firing some people and incorporating a new anonymous hotline for workers to report any issues they might be having in terms of HR. Now, in the next part of the video, Oompa asks MrBeast if he's going to be suing DogPack, and I'm not going to tell you guys what happens, I'm just going to show you the clip.
Are you going to sue DogPack?
Well, there's tons of examples of him intentionally manipulating things to not be true and posting it online. Tons and tons and tons of that. Soggy has basically an hour and 27-minute video, and an hour of it is just flat out proving manipulation and lies and caused a lot of harm to my businesses. I mean, I've literally had people pull out millions of dollars and then tell me it was directly because of his video. And don't worry, I instantly was like, can you send that in writing? So, if I win a case or anything, I can directly point damages. No reason why. And so, I mean, it's just unfortunate. Like, I don't want to be put in this situation, but probably going to have to. I mean, it's just, I mean, what do you do if someone's just spreading misinformation about you and, just causing harm to your business and like getting it to the point where you might have to potentially fire people because it's costing you so much revenue? It's like, it's not fair to the people in my companies. You know what I mean? It's just sad, it's not a thing I take joy in, but
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So yes.
They're not done drafting it up, but once they're done, more than likely. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that's
every law firm I've talked to, they're like, this would be the easiest win they've ever seen in their life. I mean, it's like crazy. I had one tell me like you could chop up all the evidence into like 3, sue 3 separate times and win all 3 cases because you'd have enough for each. Like one person I was talking to, he's won like 67 out of his last 70 cases, and he's like, this would be literally the easiest case I've ever done. Like it's because there's just so much blatant, misinformation and lies spread. Like, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, just go watch Soggy's video. Go look at his Twitter where he's redacted multiple ones of it. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to be in this position.
So yes, guys, it looks like DogPack is officially cooked and DogPack is over. He is done. DogPack got humbled. Well, actually, I would like to say more than humbled. Like, you guys already know what the next title is going to be when I have to make the video about DogPack being sued by MrBeast. It's going to be, it's going to be wild. This is going to be the title. DogPack is officially over with, cooked to a crisp. He's done, destroyed, game over. Now, all joking aside, it is not news to me that MrBeast is going to sue DogPack, and I really do hope that he also does get Rosanna while he gets DogPack, because as we all know, Rosanna and DogPack handled the situation absolutely terrible, and I know everybody makes mistakes. I made a few mistakes in covering this myself, but it is very clear to everyone that DogPack and Rosanna have a huge vendetta against MrBeast, to the point where they don't even care if what they are saying in their content exposing MrBeast is totally factual information or not. Like, to all of those Rosanna supporters out there, I am not taking back what I said in my MrBeast hater is back video. Nope, not doing it, because she's a piece of shit and so is DogPack. And before anybody comes in here and starts saying, oh, well, you're a MrBeast dick sucker because you don't like DogPack or Rosanna, well, let me be straight with everyone. I am not a fan of MrBeast. I have absolutely no contact with anybody around MrBeast or MrBeast himself, unlike some of the other commentary channels out there. And I shouldn't even have to say any of this. I shouldn't have to be like, oh, I don't like MrBeast or anybody really involved. I shouldn't have to do that. You should just know that your logic is flawed. Now, anyways, besides the tangent, let's continue on with the video.
There was a comprehensive report published that painted a negative light on crypto dealings allegedly associated with you. To what extent were you involved in these crypto transactions, and how do you respond to CoffeeZilla's video on you detailing these allegations? I thought he gave you a benefit of the doubt in that video.
Yeah.
I think he's a very reasonable guy, to be honest. I think he's a very smart, reasonable guy who cares about like doing the right thing, which is pretty rare on YouTube. You know, how would you respond to Coffee's video?
Yeah, Coffee's video and the report. Well, so I'll start off with the report. I mean, most people probably haven't even read it, but that's what kind of spawned that whole thing was this. Did you see it? Like that? Yeah. So the gist of this crypto report that was, 1 second, sorry. It's not my, the gist of this report was, Jimmy is too stupid to like make this kind of money, therefore it must be insider trading. This is his wallet. You know, clearly there was insider trading because he never would have been able to make this kind of money. When in reality, which is what I told Coffee in that statement we gave him, it was managed by a fund. So I wasn't the one managing the wallet. You know, I've never had access to that wallet. I've never done the buying and selling on that wallet. There's a actual professional who's written books on crypto and lived and breathes crypto every second of the day managing it. So most of the allegations there like are just answered by like, I am too stupid to do that. That's why a fund was managing it. You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, like Coffee said, like if he literally said this in a video. If you like Jimmy, then you're like, yeah, he has answers for everything and just checks out. And if you don't like Jimmy, then you're going to go, you know, there's obviously wrongdoing here. But yeah, I mean, the honest truth is like, I make videos, I'm running 7 businesses. I got a lot going on. And yeah, I invested in a crypto fund. They invested on my behalf and I've never like had access to that wallet. They're the one doing the buying and selling. I mean, there are thousands of transactions on there. Like, I don't even have that kind of time. I'm sure you could probably even look at it and see like days where I was like maybe in solitary confinement or like doing a video where I didn't even have access to a computer and there's trading.
True.
So for the conspiracy theorists that think I'm lying and using the fund as a cover up, like, I mean, there's gotta be some way where you could just figure that out. Like, or I was on a plane ride or something. But yeah, that's like the honest transparency is, you know, I was in a crypto fund and people thought I owned the wallet and it's called Wu-Tang Clan. Do you listen to Wu-Tang Clan?
I have, yes.
I don't.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's another indicator.
Really?
I wouldn't have named it Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
I had to educate myself on what Wu-Tang Clan was. So
Okay.
yeah.
Now on to Lunchley.
Oh
All
gosh.
Right. There are friend of the show, Rosanna Pansino, happened to get a moldy Lunchley, and a couple other creators got moldy Lunchleys, and then that began the claims sprouted out of that that Lunchley had been recalled due to those problems, due to the mold problems.
Yes.
Moldy cheese. How do you plead?
Yes. How do I plead? Like, what am I on trial? Well, there was no recall. I mean, that's been said, which again, it's like, it's so annoying. It's the disinformation, man, because that makes it seem like there's an actual serious problem. Oh, we're recalling Lunchleys, and there's a sign that, you know, I think Logan even did a video, if you want to throw up, where he like went to the store and that just wasn't real. That like someone put on like a door that said Lunchly has been recalled when the shelves are empty. By the FDA, which was just a made-up thing.
So a bit later in the video, oompaville asks MrBeast about Lunchly and if it was recalled and all of that. And something that I really wish that oompaville did ask during this part was, given Logan Paul's history and CryptoZoo and just the controversy in general surrounding Logan Paul, how do you feel about doing this Lunchly collab with Logan Paul? Like, do you even know about Logan Paul's past or what? And if you do know about Logan Paul's past, why would you go ahead and do a collab with him, knowing that he is not a good person and he has done that and harmed many people? Like, okay, it's cool and all to ask MrBeast, like, if there was a recall with Lunchly and whatnot. It's cool to talk about how Lunchly, you know, tasted good and all that. But can we also ask the hard-hitting question, why MrBeast even collabed with Logan Paul in the first place? Because honestly, in my opinion, it brings up a really good question. Does MrBeast have morals, and does he care about his audience or the community's audience just in general? Or does he care more about making a profit and he doesn't care if he's going to be collabing with somebody shady? As long as he's making money, that's all he cares about. And despite being late to this, I really hope that this is something that people are bringing up in their videos too, because don't you guys find it to be a little bit weird that MrBeast is collabing with a known scammer, Logan Paul? Not to mention that Logan Paul scammed people using crypto. Like, I really can't remember if MrBeast's crypto wallet participated in CryptoZoo or not. I'm not saying that as a fact, but I just find it to be a little bit weird, and I'm not trying to connect the dots here, but I just find it to be really weird that all this shady crypto stuff is happening behind the scenes, on top of the fact that MrBeast is collaborating with a known scammer and piece of shit, Logan Paul. Once again, I believe that would have been a great question to ask MrBeast. And that's why at the beginning of the video I said oompaville was going soft on MrBeast, and I'm really not trying to throw shade at oompaville because he's a good content creator, but yeah, it would have been real nice to see MrBeast get grilled here, not even gonna lie.
There's an interview with a former employee and contestant named Jake Weddle in which he alleges inhumane treatment on set, even war crimes. Use the term of phrase war crimes. How do you respond to these allegations, and do you plan on putting procedures in place to make sure this doesn't happen again?
Yeah, glad I can talk about this one. So I think I should set the floor because maybe not everyone here fully even knows what the challenge was or anything. So yeah, I think it would make sense to. So for the Weddle video, Jake Weddle was the person who competed in one of my videos. The video was we built a room in our studio, and then the challenge was every day you live in this room, you win $10,000. And then it was like kind of like a white padded room. There's like a pool table, a bed in there, bunch of other items, blah blah. And let me just gather my thoughts on this one. How do I want to say? I think the best way to talk about this is to also talk about how we did similar videos with other people, because one of the things is like multiple people can do the same thing and experience it differently. That's what's a little tricky about these like contestant-based videos. I can never know 100% how something's going to affect someone, right? So similar to the Weddle video, I just want to lay the foundation before we go in specifically to that. Similar to that, we also did a video where we put did you see the video where we put two people in a room, Bailey and Susie, 100 days trapped together? So one thing that Breone struggled with was the lights being on, and he mentioned that in the video. But Bailey and Susie, on day 20 of 100 Day Trapped together, I offered to turn the lights off for part of their prize pool. And they said no. And like the lights wasn't, I mean, I'm sure it was difficult, but it wasn't like that big of a difficulty for them. And so it's like something for them that's not that big of a difficulty.
Now, okay, putting everything he just said aside, this would still not be considered a war crime. He voluntarily did this challenge, and he was not held against his will. He was allowed to leave whenever he wanted to. Like, I just think that's a whole lot of bullshit. I really do. Because you could have left at any moment, but you stayed there knowing that if you stayed and completed the challenge, you would have been paid the prize money, right? And now that it's popular to hate on MrBeast, now you're coming out here and saying that, oh, MrBeast committed a war crime when you could have left at any moment you wanted to. Like, it's BS. And I mean, just the fact that it's being talked about here is just ridiculous.
We did miss a few questions, and I called Jimmy the next morning to get clarification on a few more things, specifically Ava Shadman and some more of the crypto allegations. Here is that footage. We'll talk a little bit about Ava Tyson and specifically the Shadman stuff. I know We talked about the third-party investigation, which found no wrongdoing in like a legal sense from that perspective. A thing that a lot of people care about is Shadman's a fucking freak and is a disgusting person. Did you know about the painting in? Did you know about that? Have you ever interacted with Shadman before? Like, what is your relation to that, and specifically that relationship between Shadman and Ava Tyson and you?
Yeah, no, that's actually a good follow-up question. So this is what it was like. I don't remember 7, 8 years ago. Back then, I used to have like a bunch of anime posters up on the wall. I'm just like set a foundation for context. We used to have a bunch of anime posters and things like that on our wall in the house. And one day, Ava put up this poster that was like an animated character holding a fidget spinner and a gun. Admittedly, it was a weird image. I didn't know who made it. I just kind of assumed it was a meme. I obviously did not know who Shadman was. I've never spoken with Shadman. I did not buy the poster or commission it or anything. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, I didn't really think too much of it because we just had like a lot of anime posters and things up, and it was an animated character that was clothed, obviously. And yeah, knowing what I know about Shadman now is a very weird thing to buy. I'm not really sure why she bought it, to be frank. And yeah, I mean, I wish I could give more details. I mean, this was so long ago. Obviously, I don't know the like exact thoughts going through my head, but I just remember, like, I agree, it is a little bit of a weird poster. But I also think, like, I had like Naruto posters up, or I had like Code Geass posters, like random animes I used to watch, and like, I never like reversed image search and Googled, oh, who made this Code Geass anime poster that's sitting on the wall or whatever. I don't, I don't, your first instincts when you just see a poster is not to just go, who made that, and deep dive them. So
yeah, are they a pal? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I agree. It's her buying it is very weird. And I, obviously, if I had known what I know now, I would have been like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah, that's fair. Cause I also, after all this stuff, I didn't know who Shadman was. I've heard of him a little bit, on Twitter and shit, but I didn't know. Total ignorance there. So, okay. And that's just one that's important, people, cause that's fucked up. That guy is, disgusting. And people do care. It's like, you've got pedo art and, you were saying you didn't know. That's, it's disgusting. Fucking Shadman is a freak. So
okay, so half of me wants to be like, MrBeast, there's just no way you didn't know about this disgusting behavior on Kris Tyson's part. But if it happens to be true that he had no idea about any of this weird stuff that was happening, I really don't want to pin that blame to him. So I don't really know where I stand here. And if you guys want to leave a comment down in the comment section down below, giving your thoughts, feel free to. But anyways, with that being said, I'm going to be moving on to the next part. Oompa asked MrBeast more questions about the crypto. And once again, I'm not really like a crypto person or anything like that. So I just figured I would say that before we get into this.
I feel like it's my responsibility to ask some more questions about the crypto stuff, because we sort of glossed over it a little bit yesterday. And it's one of those things where it's note heavy, receipt heavy. So, if you don't know something, you just let me know. And if you have to go find information or whatever to back up what you're saying, I don't expect you're like a politician and have all your fucking, we're not debating philosophy or politics. Like, I don't expect you to have everything at your left hand. I understand you're busy. So, if there's information you can provide so we can put it in post, just let me know.
Okay.
Okay, so first one is Wu-Tang. You have said that you do not control the Wu-Tang wallet. You said that last night. You said that a friend did it. You said you didn't know what Wu-Tang was.
A fund did it, yes, not a friend.
Right. Okay, a fund, okay. On a podcast with Logan Paul about CryptoPunks, you talk about a call you had with Mr. Gary where you claim to have bought and or sold CryptoPunks. But then later decided to roll the money into VFriends. And this is all like video, obviously. And this trading activity all happened within the Wu-Tang wallet, which we talked about last night.
Yes.
So if it was your decision, if semantically, if what you're talking about on the podcast, if it was your decision, your trading decision to buy and sell the punks or VFriends, even though you didn't press the buttons, was it actually your decision? Did you press the button? Did you not press the button? Was it your decision? And if it was your decision, and even if you didn't press the button, it still, to me, would mean that you had control of those trading decisions.
Yeah, these are good questions. Actually, I'm glad we're doing this follow-up thing so we can also just put all this stuff out there. So, yes, I did say that in the podcast, and I obviously did not press the buttons like I've been saying. I didn't pick what punks to buy or anything. Gary Vee, like I said on that podcast, called me and a bunch of other people, said crypto punks are the next big thing. I thought it was pretty crazy. But, the first thing I did right after that is just called the guy in charge of the fund who invested my money and it's other people's money as well, and just said, hey, Gary Vee seemed very passionate about these punks. You should look into it. If it makes sense, buy it. And so, he did the research, picked what punks to buy, bought them. I don't even truthfully know how to buy punks. I've never bought one, like me personally.
Okay.
Like I've said, I don't have access to that wallet. So, in other transparency, like that's kind of high level how it went. But if he was like, oh, this is a shit investment, then he wouldn't have bought them. So he was the one who was doing the buying and selling and managing things.
Okay. But you did make some decisions to buy or sell in the Wu-Tang Fund.
I just told him like, hey, Gary, like in transparency, Gary called me about CryptoPunks and said they were cool. Look into it. So at the end of the day, bro, I don't fucking know. Like I don't know which punks to buy or which ones we should buy if it's a good investment. Like that's why I put the money in a fund and had professionals managing it.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, they're stupid as shit. I don't like any of the NFT stuff. I'm glad that's all kind of come and gone now. I like the newer era we're in. Okay, so next is the super tweet, the super coin tweet. For context, on May 12th, 2021, you, MrBeast, tweeted in response to it was an Elio Trades tweet. There's a gym sitting there on the market at an eye-watering price set to explode during DeFi Summer 2.0. And then you responded by saying super ? With a crazy emoji.
Yep.
So why did you not disclose that you had a vested interest in the coin that you were tweeting about? Super ? Yeah, we'll start there.
Well, I replied to a tweet, so I did tweet it out. And I think a lot of people, that are just getting second hands of the story think I literally tweeted out, go buy super, go buy super. The fund did hold some super, and I just saw that was the owner of super, the guy who made the coin. And I just went scrolling through Twitter, just replied super to his tweet. I did not tell people to buy super or anything. I just replied super. And I know the next thing where people are going to go, but this was a planned coordinated thing. It wasn't. It's not like I'm on the phone with the people managing the crypto fund going, hey, I'm about to reply super to this tweet. Like, I just was scrolling Twitter and I replied super. And like, I highly doubt anyone bought it because they saw me reply super to a tweet. Just to be honest. So I didn't think too much of it. Obviously, though, in hindsight, I could see how people might think that is a weird look optically, and so like I wouldn't do it. But I really don't think it's that malicious. Like if I just flat out tweeted, I think super is the next big thing, go buy it, super. Like I think this is a different conversation. That's the kind of stuff actual people do, you know what I mean? And like
scammers.
So I just don't. Yeah. So it was just interesting too because Coffee never said I was a scammer in his video. Yet there's so many comments on it. Just a lot of people just want to drive whatever. People who don't like me, like he said in the video, are not going to like me, and they're, going to run with it. People who do like me are going to be like, oh, it was managed by a fund, and Jimmy has answers for everything, which, it's not excuses. I literally was just a fund. I was not the one buying or selling or anything. You know what I mean? I had other people managing it. So that's the honest answer. I just replied super, and, I guess if I could go back in time, I'd just not reply. I didn't think it was a big deal when I did it.
Yeah, but now, obviously, with because crypto is changed massively in the last couple of years, so you could consider that a mistake at this point. Like that's definitely
And another little context point I think a lot of people are missing. A lot of people who do this kind of stuff do it on low volume coins that sell $100,000 a day, so it actually dramatically pumps it and blah blah. Super is like the 100th biggest crypto coin out there. Super is like a legit coin. It's a legit project that's massive. Like that tweet didn't move the needle for shit or anything, right? So that's another context piece people are missing. Like, if anything, buying super, actually, I'm not even going to say that. I was going to, would probably be a good investment because it's one of the biggest coins out there and it seems to be doing really well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now I have to say, disclosure, we still hold super to this day. Yeah, that's honest. That's the honest truth. I mean, nothing malicious there. Just replied to a tweet.
Yeah. I think. I mean, we have a lot of evidence of people genuinely scamming, and it doesn't seem along the same vein to be real. But it is important to ask about and important to get total clarity about, because you do have a lot of influence. And regardless of what you say, whether or not you say, oh, I'm sure nobody bought it, like maybe somebody did, who knows? There's no way to really prove or disprove.
But even if they did buy it, the coin, I mean, it's a 100th biggest coin, and it seems to be doing really well. So
yeah, I think the problem would be that the obviously that you have it, that you would benefit off.
I got you. I mean, I see what you're saying. Yes.
So now, I'm assuming your answer to this will be that you just didn't think it was important. But why would you not mention that your fund Wu-Tang had been selling and continued to sell super on the day and after you tweeted about it or responded to a tweet, for clarity?
Yeah. So again, I wasn't involved in the day-to-day of the fund. I mean, if you look at the sell charts in that report, they were selling, I mean, I believe off the top of my head, like months prior or then months after. It looks like the fund was just dollar cost averaging it. So there's literally no correlation to my just little response to a tweet and what the fund was doing. So, I mean, yeah, it's kind of the same answer as before. I just replied to a tweet. Clearly, it wasn't a coordinated thing.
Gotcha. And then the final one, this one's a lot more complicated and involves a lot of stuff. So I mean, maybe you would want to reconvene with like receipts or evidence or whatever. But it's the crypto charity stuff, Team C's Eternity.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah, I mean that one. The Eternity gave us NFTs to auction off for Team C's. Only one sold after like a day, I believe, and that was it. And then, yeah, it looks like the fund sold like 27 days later, a little bit of Eternity. It was not combined or planned or premeditated in any way. I mean, honestly, the charity auction was a bomb. It only raised $7,000. No one cared, so it didn't really do anything. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of the full story.
Now, with everything that's been said, I just find it to be really weird that all this shady crypto stuff is happening. And okay, he might say that, oh, he has a fund manager and they're doing all this for him. Regardless of who is doing it, I mean, it's still on his behalf. And I just find it to be really weird that this really shady behavior regarding crypto is going on with MrBeast. Like, once again, I don't know too much about crypto. So if anybody is more knowledgeable on this, feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section down below if you have your thoughts or your opinions about it. But I think that's where I'm going to be wrapping up the video. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you did happen to like the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, because doing so will help promote the video more in the algorithm so that more people can see it. Now, once again, I just wanted to say I left some things out from the original video. If you want to go see the whole thing, you can watch the full video on oompaville's channel. And yeah, thank you guys so much for being members to the channel. Your support really does mean the world to me, and I really do appreciate it. My name is Breone, and hopefully we're done with this situation, because I really don't want to talk about it ever again. And I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.